Are you thinking about moving to Maryland but having a hard time deciding between the suburban charm of Towson, Maryland and the vibrant city life of Baltimore City? Well, each city has its own perks, challenges, and different vibes when it comes to community, cost of living, and housing. And in today's video, we are going to be comparing both cities head to head so that you can know which is best suited for you. Hi, my name is Persia and I am a realtor here in Maryland in the Baltimore metro region. Welcome to my channel, Baltimore Inside and Out, where I not only show you gorgeous homes in the region, but also the lifestyle that comes with them. If you are planning to move to the Baltimore metro region or anywhere in Maryland, make sure to tap the notification bell and hit the subscribe button so that you are always alerted whenever there is a new weekly video on our channel. And if you're planning a move to Maryland, make sure to take a look at all of our contact information, which is pinned in the information box below. We would love to help you, my team and I, make a smooth transition to the Baltimore metro region or anywhere in Maryland. So feel free to call us, text us, email us. We can set up a video call and chat about your move and how we can help. Okay, let's dive into today's video by starting with location and commute. At just shy of 570,000 residents, Baltimore City is Maryland's largest city. Because of being in Maryland's largest city, you have easy access right in the city to large employers like Under Armour, University of Maryland, Medical Center, Johns Hopkins University, countless nonprofits, private organizations. There's many to name. If you work downtown and you live close to where you work, your commute could be as little as 5 to 15 minutes, which is definitely a bonus. What are the downsides of being in this larger metropolitan area in Baltimore? Well, Baltimore traffic can be heavy during rush hour, especially along I-95, I-83, and main arteries like Charles Street. Parking is also limited. You may need a monthly garage pass or a residential street permit. Public transit is decent, but it's not perfect. Buses, the metro, subway, and the MARC train connect you to Washington, D.C., making it possible to commute without a car if you choose the right location. Living here also means you're closer to I-95 and I-70, which makes East Coast travel much easier. Now, Towson is just 15 to 20 minutes north of Baltimore, but the feel of the community is so much different. It leans much more suburban. It's a lot calmer, much less congested than downtown Baltimore. But the wonderful thing is that you can be downtown in 15 to 20 minutes. So the location is still really great. The Beltway, which is I-695, actually circles Towson, and I-83, Interstate 83, actually runs through it. So you are in a really great location to get to other points immediately near Baltimore, but also to get to other places on the East Coast like New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., places like that, which is really awesome and convenient. Commute times vary, about 15 minutes to downtown in light traffic, 30 to 40 minutes during rush hour. The trade-off is easier driving and better parking. Most homes and apartments in Towson have garages, driveways, or large lots. Public transportation is limited, so most Towson residents do rely on cars, but you also have access to buses and the light rail if needed. Towson is also closer to outdoor escapes like Maryland Trails and Loch Raven Reservoir. Baltimore is going to be a good fit for you if you work in the city and want to live close by, while Towson is going to be a good fit for you if you are looking for more parking, easy highway access, and suburban flexibility. All right, next up, let's get into housing and cost of living. Baltimore City offers you an extremely wide variety of housing stock. You have everything from the quintessential brick row house, which is ever present in Baltimore, but you also have luxury condominiums that are waterfront. You have detached single family homes and really everything in between. Apartment buildings, you have it all in Baltimore. And just like the variety in housing stock, this variety comes when it comes to price point as well. You You can find a row house for literally $35,000 if you're buying something that you are rebuilding from scratch. You're just buying a shell of a row house, which I know that's probably not most of you who are watching, but something that's livable in a decent area. I would say you can buy a row house between $150,000 to $200,000, and then all the way up to over $1 million if you are looking at luxury waterfront condominiums, or perhaps you're looking at detached single-family homes in a neighborhood like Guilford, which could be way more than $1 million, or even a row house in Bolton Hill could cost you at that $1 million mark. So that is a really huge range depending on where you want to live and what your budget is. When it comes to rentals in Baltimore, the average for a 2-bedroom apartment is around $1,200 to $1,300. If you are looking for something that's a little bit more luxury and close to the water, you're going to be looking at around $3,000 to rent an apartment. One thing that's really important to keep in mind when you are cost comparing homes in Baltimore City versus a suburb like Towson is that Baltimore City has the highest property tax rate in the entire state of Maryland at 2.24%, which means that if you are buying a home in Baltimore, you are going to be paying significantly more taxes for that particular home than if you were to compare that same, let's say, $300,000 house in Towson. You'd be paying less taxes. So that's really important to consider because taxes are one of the items that creates your monthly mortgage amount. So that's just something to keep in mind. Towson has more suburban style housing, so you'll see a lot more detached single family homes with larger lots. You'll see apartment buildings that are closer to areas like Towson University or Towson Circle, which makes it very convenient for folks to live near the school. You'll find also newer construction. Townhomes are built in that area. An example of a neighborhood near Towson that has newer built townhomes is called Towson Green, which is right near Towson Circle and is walkable to the campus of Towson University, which is great. So it also has variety, but it does lean more suburban compared to Baltimore City's more urban neighborhoods. In Towson, you can typically get an apartment rental or a townhouse rental for somewhere between $1,500 and $2,200, which is more pricey than Baltimore City, but a lot of times these homes tend to have more space and parking available with them, which might not be the case in Baltimore. Another thing to keep in mind is the property tax rate in Baltimore County, where Towson is only 1.1%, which is significantly lower than Baltimore City. So if you were to purchase a home in Towson or in Baltimore County versus Baltimore City, you are going to be saving money on those taxes, which helps when it comes to your bottom line. All right, next on the list of comparing Baltimore to Towson is lifestyle and amenities. In Baltimore, entertainment options are endless. Ravens and Orioles games, live concerts, theater at the Hippodrome, the Walters Art Museum, the National Aquarium, and there are tons of waterfront festivals to choose from. In addition, Baltimore is famous for blue crabs, Old Bay, and seafood, but you'll also find craft breweries, gourmet restaurants, and mom and pop shops in every neighborhood. Baltimore also has a lot of walkability. Neighborhoods like Canton, Federal Hill, Fells Point, and Hamden are very pedestrian friendly. You can walk to cafes, parks, and shops. Nightlife is vibrant in Baltimore with bars, clubs, and live music venues staying busy, especially on the weekends. In Towson, the lifestyle leans more suburban. You have Towson Town Center Mall, Cinemark, movies, theater, gyms, and plenty of national chains. But you'll also find locally owned restaurants and coffee shops sprinkled around York Road and the university area. Outdoor lifestyle is a big perk. The Loch Raven Reservoir for hiking, biking, and kayaking, plus nearby county parks for sports and family activities are big in Towson. Towson University brings energy with sporting events, cultural performances, and a lively student population that keeps the area from feeling sleepy. Nightlife is modest but growing. You'll find college bars, pubs, and restaurants, but it doesn't compare to Baltimore's nightlife scene. All right, next on the list of comparing Baltimore and Towson is schools and education. In Baltimore, schools vary greatly. I have talked a lot about the school system in Baltimore, and you can have really strong public charters or public magnet schools, or even neighborhood schools that have a really strong tax base. But then you might have others that are really schools that are struggling. So it's really important to do your research when it comes to public schools, and also to know that really public schooling varies in Baltimore, neighborhood to neighborhood. So again, doing your research is of the utmost importance if you have little ones that you are planning on enrolling in school. As I've mentioned before in some of my videos on the channel about Baltimore, a lot of families in Baltimore choose to enroll their children in private schools, and Baltimore has some of the most amazing private schools in the country actually. Schools like Bryn Mawr, Gilman School, Roland Park Country School, and the Friends School of Baltimore are all really good private school options if you're thinking about that as an alternative to public schools in Baltimore. However, keep in mind that the tuition for these schools can range between $20,000 and $40,000 a year. So it definitely has a steep price tag if you are looking to bypass public school in Baltimore. For higher education, you have Johns Hopkins University, you have the University of Baltimore, and you have the University of Maryland at Baltimore, all located right within the city. You also have historically Black colleges like Morgan State University in Baltimore and Coppin State University. Towson is part of Baltimore County public school system, which generally ranks higher than Baltimore City public schools, and Towson High, Dumbarton Middle, and Stoneleigh Elementary are often ranked above average. Towson University is a major presence providing jobs, cultural events, and sports. It also gives Towson a youthful vibe. Parents often prefer Towson for stronger public school options without having to lean on expensive private education. All right, what does each of these towns or cities feel like when it comes to community? Baltimore is diverse, historic, and eclectic. Each neighborhood feels like its own mini city with its own style, architecture, and personality. It's great for young professionals, creatives, or anyone who loves variety and city energy. The flip side is that it is more noisy, more dense, and a busier lifestyle if you compare it to a suburban town. Towson is more suburban and family oriented. Streets are quieter with more green space and less density. The vibe is a mix of professionals, families, retirees, and students. It feels more cohesive, almost like a large town, while still being plugged into the Baltimore metro area. All right, last up on our list is safety. When we talk about safety in Baltimore City, I would say that's probably the biggest question that I get is, I'm relocating to Baltimore, is it safe? And as a person who lived in Baltimore for 20 years, I personally have never had a safety issue, but what I tell my clients all the time is that it is so important to do your research about your neighborhoods, about, what the feel of these neighborhoods are during different points of the day, and really to use resources like Baltimore City's crime map in order to really get a sense of what's happening in these neighborhoods and how comfortable you will feel living there, because everyone is different. Everyone has their own different tolerances for where they want to live. So I would highly recommend taking a look at my video that I will link here about Baltimore's safest neighborhoods. And in that, I talk about safety a lot and also talk about how to navigate Baltimore City's crime map, which I think is, a really important tool if you are getting to know different neighborhoods and want to know about their safety, which makes a lot of sense. In general, Towson is considered to be safer than Baltimore. Obviously, crime still happens everywhere, but when we talk about numbers and per capita, when it comes to actual crimes, Towson is lower than Baltimore City. But as always, it's important to do your research, look at neighborhoods, look at crime data before you make any decisions as to where to land. There you have it, a side-by-side comparison of Baltimore City versus living in Towson, Maryland. So which one feels more like home to you, Towson or Baltimore? Drop a comment down in the comment section below so that we can know where you would prefer to live. And remember, if you are making a move to Maryland, please feel free to reach out to me and to my team. We would absolutely love to help you. Our contact information is pinned below. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button so that you can be alerted whenever there is new content on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.